Hello everyone, Reza here. In this video, I will show you 5 different ways in which we can build a people picker-like experience in Power Apps. We will leverage screen templates, leverage the combo box control, try connecting to Azure AD using the Office 365 Users Connector, Office 365 Groups Connector, use the Creator Kit, and a lot more. This video is packed with action, so let's get started right away. The first option to create a people picker experience in Power Apps is by leveraging screen templates. We have 2 screen templates for these. One of them is called People. This uses the Office 365 Users Connector to search for people from Azure Active Directory. So if I select the screen experience, this will bootstrap a screen based on a template that allows us to find users in our organization. If you explore data sources at this point for our app, it has created the Office 365 users connection. I have the ability to search for users in Azure AD. So if I search for a user Alice, that's the user in my Active Directory, I can select the specific user. Let's search for a user Reza. For Reza, a couple of accounts show up. One of them is my organization account, and the other one is my guest user account. I'll select my organization account, and we can see it's made multiple selections. The way this works is when you search for a user, we have a gallery called User Browse Gallery. The items property for this one leverages the search user function from the Office 365 Users Connector, takes the text that's entered in the text box for searching, and sets that text value to a property search term, and also says go and give me the top 15 users that are retrieved based on that search term. And all of this is making a search against my Active Directory. I have the following set of users. One of them is that external user that is a guest user in my tenant. Now searching for Reza brings up the guest user as well. If you want the search to be internal within the organization only, I can go and apply a filter condition to the result of Office 365 users.searchUser function. And my condition will be not hash ext hash in user principal name, and I will close the filter function. This filter is ensuring that the results returned does not include any external users. External users have this specific tag in the user principal name that gets generated for guest users. So this time, if I search for Reza, notice that it does not showcase any guest users from my organization. Now, user accounts can be enabled or disabled. This function right now, if I was to search for a user Andrew, all I have to do to this is append an AND condition, account enabled is equal to true. So at this point, notice when I search for Andrew, it does not return any results. But if I search for a user James, it returns that user account as it's an internal user, and that user's account is enabled. If I select James as well, this adds the user James as well to this gallery, which is called People Added Gallery. As you start selecting items from the user browse gallery, they start getting added to a collection called My People. The second template that we've been provided is a template called Email. Once again, this bootstraps a very simple screen. Here, the to property allows us to search for people from Active Directory or add our own email addresses. I want to send an email out to Reza, and I want to send this email to Sarah. If an email address is not found, it also allows us to add it to that collection of users and to send the email. You will note how it uses this function called concat that allows us to concatenate data from that collection, which is My People, goes and grabs the mail addresses and semicolon separates them. So this will have all the email addresses of those users selected or entered, semicolon separated. The second option is for us to build our own PeoplePicker-like experience by leveraging the Office 365 users connector, and the control that we will take advantage of here is a control called the combo box control. For the items property of the combo box control, we will leverage Office 365 users dot search user, and there is an updated version of this, search user v2. In this, it is expecting a few properties. The first one is search term. That's the text that you want to search. That I can directly get from my combo box control. And I can use self dot search text. I can also ensure that I trim this to avoid any leading or trailing spaces. Top represents the limit on the number of results to return. Minimum value is 1, default is 1,000. So in this case, I won't specify any, so it just defaults to the max value. There is also one called is search term required. If this is set to yes, then no user profiles will be returned when the search term is empty. If it is set to no, then no filtering will be applied when the search term is empty. So initially my combo box would be empty, but I wanted to show the results from my Active Directory. So I will set is search term required as false. Close the record, close the function. Now this function returns a value, which is table of results up to 1,000. Plus it also returns a next link that would include a link that I can leverage to make another search user v2 call to get additional results. And since I want the tabular data, I will say dot value. So this is returning all my users from AD. All I have to do here is use the filter function to filter this where account enabled is true and not in user principal name. For the combo box, allow multiple selections. By default here is turned on. So you can decide if you want to make this multi-select, and allow searching. Extremely important for us to turn this on. Now when this is on, it says find items. If you want to change that text, go to advanced. Input text placeholder says find items. I will change this to search for users. You can also add emojis in here. Go back to properties, fields. If I go to edit, here by default the layout is single. There are 3 different types of layouts provided. In this case, I'll go and pick double. I can show 2 properties of the user's profile to the user. So the primary text, I'll pick the display name property of the user, and secondary text, I will pick the mail of the user. Search field, search on display name. But if you want to search on multiple profile properties, I'll go to advanced. So search on display name, it's an array, comma, the mail property. It gives me the display name of the user and their email address. And I can see that for all the users in my Active Directory. I also have the ability here to search. This is searching based on display name, email address. If you want additional profile properties of the users to show up in this experience, so what I can do here is use add columns to add an extra column, and I will call this user data. And in this column, I will leverage this record dot. This will list out all the properties. I will say display name, concatenate this, and in this, let's say I would like to show their mail nickname. Put another ampersand and close this and close the add columns function. So now the table that gets generated here will also have this additional column called user data. It has the display name and it's showing the mail nickname. Now, if I also want to show the department, I'll just add department. And this time you can see it will also add the department details. Now this value could be empty for certain users. So for those scenarios, I can use the coalesce function. So if this is empty, put not applicable. And this time, you can see how it shows NA if empty. Now, for the display fields array, I will use user data. So if I preview, it has the name of the user, their nickname, and their department, along with their emails. We can take it one step further as well by adding filters if desired. For example, a departmental filter here. Currently, it's showing me all my users. If I pick IT, this will list out all the users from the IT department. If I pick HR, it will list out all the users from the HR department. In fact, even the search at this point will return results based on users in those departments. I added an extra condition here. The third option is to search for users in Microsoft 365 groups. Here, I have a group called cat team, and this group has the following members. I have a combo box. I will go to data and add a connection to Office 365 groups. For my combo box, the items formula will be Office 365 groups list group members. Here it requires the ID of the group. I can go to properties and get the object ID, which is the group ID. Close the function. I have a property here called top. Show me the top 500 users from that group. I can close this. Dot value will give me all the details of all the users in that group. I'll go to properties, fields edit, primary text display name, secondary text I'll pick mail, search field I'll pick display name, go to advanced, and also give the user the option here to search in the mail property. For this combo box, I'll ensure searching is on. Preview. This is listing out all those users from that group. And I can only search for users that are a part of that group. The next option is to create a person picker experience directly from a data source. Each SharePoint list has a created by column, which is of type person. In my Power App, I will add a connection to that SharePoint list. Important that the users that are running the Power App have at least read access on that list in order for this concept to work. For the items property of the combo box, I will use the function choices of my list dot created by. Now notice it starts listing out users. Once again, it's a combo box, allow searching on fields. Here, I'll pick person, image, I'll take picture, primary text, display name, secondary text, email, search on email, advanced. Let's also search on display name. Preview starts listing out my users. Let's search for Reza. There you go. If you add an edit form control and connect to a list that has a person type column, in my case, issue tracking, default mode I'll set to new. Assign to is that person type column. This right here is your PeoplePicker experience in action. Now with SharePoint, we can actually go one step further with a person type column. If I go to list settings, for this specific column assigned to, I can choose from all users. I can change this to target specific SharePoint groups. In this case, I picked a group called HR admin, which is a custom group in SharePoint that has two users, Reza and Sarah. So I'll make that change and I'll click OK. Now at this point, assign to will only allow me to enter email addresses of Reza and Sarah. If I try any other user, it won't even show me that option here. Next data source, Dataverse. In Dataverse, we have a table called AAD User. It's a virtual table that has details about users from Active Directory. The user ID and many other profile properties are available. In my Power App, I will add a connection directly to AAD users. And for my combo box items property, I will simply use search AAD users table where self.search text, and I would like to search for this. Let's say search in display name, search in the mail. So combo box allows searching on fields. Go to double, primary text, display name, secondary text. I'll show the mail. If I start searching for users, it will start returning the results. And the last option is from the creator kit that the PowerCat team has developed. One of the controls is the PeoplePicker control. We are free to connect it to any option of our choice. We can also leverage the Dataverse tables, AAD users or users table. For this, we need to ensure that we have installed the creator kit solutions in your environment. In my Power App then, I will go to Insert, Get More Components, go to Code, search for People, and pick Fluent PeoplePicker control and click Import. This will import the control as a code component that I can simply select, and this will be added to my screen as a control. So let's follow the documentation and let's give this a try with AAD users. Suggestions items property, for that control, set it as follows. So I'll copy this. Suggestions items property, I'll set it as follows. Suggestion key, suggestion name, and suggestion role properties need to be set. Suggestion name, I've set it to display name. Suggestion key, I'll set this to mail. And suggestion role, job title. Now if I search for users, this will start listing out my users that I can go ahead and select. If you enjoyed this video, then do like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And thank you so much for watching.